like I said, it's 2012 to 2018. And it's in 2018 that we finally, since then, we've had our meter removed and we've had a mechanical meter put on. And it did cost us money, and they said they were gonna charge us, like $40 a month, which they actually have. But we found out we've had other electrical work done on our home, we had our meter replaced, and after having all that done, our electricity really, the smart meter was actually causing more dirty electricity, and we cleaned all that up. And when doing all that, our electric bill really has just stayed the same. Even though they are charging us $40 more a month, our electric bill hasn't really changed that much.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting you say that because that brings up a valid point because there's a couple things here. Well, I'll make a comment on here. Environmental Health Trust has done a lot of research. All the insurance underwriters do not, your A&E, Lloyd's of London, there are like 40 underwriters. It says right here that insurers rank that electromagnetic radiation is high risk, comparing it with lead and asbestos. And so 42 classifies 5G networks as high risk, off the leash risk stating. So we have asbestos-like material. You've eliminated that asbestos-like material. You then hired a building biologist to come to your house, a couple of different ones actually, and you had a perfect power system in initially. Now you put the meter disconnect combo. We put the oscilloscopes and picoscopes now, and we saw a pretty dramatic difference on the direct electricity that's flowing throughout the wiring once those things have actually been done. So what do you think since you've had the injuries? I know Dave actually had some pretty serious injuries as well because he was installing Wi-Fi initially as an engineer.
Right.
He was installing Wi-Fi initially, had no problems for 3 years installing the Wi-Fi, and then therefore.
Well, he was installing Wi-Fi the last 3 years of those 6 years that we were exposed to smart meters. So he was being bombarded day and night.
And the smart meter.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then.
So that's why he seemed to age overnight.
Okay, yeah, well, because it dehydrates you, because it is electromagnetic radiation, and it affects the ability for your body to absorb water. So we have aging. Do you have any other issue, Dave? Have any other issues besides the aging and fatigue, possibly?
Well, he's now developed Parkinson's, and of course they don't know what causes Parkinson's.
Yeah.
We think it's in your environment. There's a lot of toxins, and in the past years. He used to spray, I would think, pesticides around the house like most people do, and I would always tell him to protect himself, and he never thought, no big deal, never bothered with it. But we think it's all the toxins in the world, and I'm sure that didn't help, the exposure to the radio waves. And there seems to be some connection with people that, we know other people that have been in the business of, like Daryl and Daryl's friend that worked at Washington U did work with cameras, videos.
Video cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, so wireless.
And he's got Parkinson's. This one guy's got Parkinson's too. And they looked and they've known other people in that same field. So it might have something to do with it.
Yeah, so you've had a personal experience with the health effects of this wireless, whether it be smart meters or anything wireless, Wi-Fi and things like that. What would you say to people who just kind of says, I really don't know if I believe any of this stuff. Do you have anything to say that could, besides your story, is pretty impressive?
Well, what's sad is because you can't see it, it's not a visual thing, you think there's nothing to it.
That's right.
And because you don't notice it right away. There are some people, like you, Rob, that are sensitive to electric, to the fields. They're more sensitive, and they're kind of like, we look at them kind of like the canaries in a cave, okay? They're more susceptible, just like the men in the cave watch that canary, something happens to that canary, and they get out. Well, it's the same way I think people have to wake up to the fact that though they can't see it, that all these other people that are really sensitive are really like the canary, and we need to pay attention to them. It took us 6 years for our health to go down. And if our health was already down, if we were sick with other stuff, we doctors on the drive, you're just getting worse. And they wouldn't make any connection to the smart meter, affecting us. And when I look, as I said, when I look back at the things that happened over those 6 years, I had a lot of weird things going on. I mean, like I said, you just don't pay attention to them because you go on with your life. You got a headache or whatever. You don't pay much attention. And I had a lot of weird things. I had breaking outs on my head. Okay, but unfortunately, it was under my hair, so no one else really could see it. But I knew it.
That's interesting.
And yeah, I had stuff. I had weird things. A lot of weird things.
Was it like sores or
There
scabs or?
Yeah, they were like sores, itchy sores, and they would
Okay.
tell you it's. I would go to they'd say it's vasculitis or something like that, but it was different. And then I had swelling like on my, I guess that soft spot in the back. It would swell up like if I were to feel it, it would feel like a hard boiled egg, peeled.
Yeah.
It would just it'd be
Would
the
it- would it-
size. It was the size of the egg like that.
Oh
It'd
my
be a
God.
bump on my head.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for giving me your quick story here because it means a lot. Hopefully, we can help out more people before this actually happens to them, and we get this terrible technology. It's not even technology. It's just a device that should not be on anybody's home. So I just want to say thank you so much.
Yeah.